What's up, YouTube? What's up, everybody? I haven't done a Nvts update in probably a week, as you can tell. There hasn't really been a need to do a Nvts update in a week. The core information I laid out in my previous 3 videos, none of that has changed. That's all the exact same. There hasn't been any new partnerships or developments. I mean, they did some kind of, they had like a EV battery deal or something like 2 weeks ago. It made the stock pop, but honestly, that's in no way, shape, or form why I personally was interested in the stock. I'm interested in the Nvda partnership and the data racks, and then the 5% power reduction and a 70% maintenance costs reduction. Partnerships here and there, buyout potential, definitely still on the menu. It seems to have been behaving exactly the same every day. You'll get this massive pop in the morning, and then it just sells off. It's literally what happened today. It popped like 50 cents almost out of nothing. There was, the volume was totally gone. We were not even 1 million volume by open on an average of 95 million volume. So that's signaling either a sell-off because the shorts are going to come in and take it over, or a pop. And you got that pop, but it just sold right off. And now I went to get a coffee, cortado, delicious, it was already like in the red. So to me, this thing needs to or wants to come back to its extending moving averages. So the 48, the 13 is like 6 and change. It already hit that last week. It was like 680. I personally want to see this thing come back to the 48, which is like, unfortunately, it's like down to like 4 and change. But that's where the majority of us got in to begin with. I just think it's healthy for the stock to do that. It had such a massive pop, and it is, at the end of the day, all predicated on what they are touting as, mid to late 2026 earnings, which is, next year to the day, right? That would be middle of 2026. Like, that's nowhere near here. There was rampant insider selling all the last 2 weeks, guys. It did stop over the weekend. I didn't get any new Nvts emails. Over the last 3 days, I didn't get any. So, I mean, but it was crazy. It was like 6 a day, every day, for 2 straight weeks. They couldn't sell that shit fast enough. I was getting really annoyed with that Sick Power Rangbir Singh, or whatever the hell his name was, because that guy was selling millions of shares every day. Like, he's a director. I mean, I get taking profit. His shares were worth like almost $175 million. So who doesn't want to take, just under $250 million? I get it. He's human. But bro, if you were to hold that or even buy more, think of how that would, your stock could go all the way up to $20, $30. And now you're literally a billionaire, right? Like, you're a billionaire. So I don't know. I think it's just a very short-sighted perspective, and it did damage investor sentiment and confidence. It made me think that I don't want to be paying the current prices personally. And I know how retail reacts. People watching this, or retail investors, they're going to say, "Man, this is a FUD video. This is just reality, guys. This is not FUD. This is." Anyone who's only pumping shit, only hyping stocks and only pumping them and never giving you 2 sides of the coin or the full picture, those would be channels I would have zero interest in personally. Those would be people I have zero interest in personally. This is raw, this is authentic, and this is, if I'm thinking it, investors are thinking it, other people are thinking it. Sure, many people are just holding, and it would have been nice, we finally did get the weekly options, so it would have been nice to get the into covered calls, but the stock, the options are paying next to nothing. And like, it's kind of incredible how badly they're paying. And it's been moving too much to even do that anyways. You don't want to kneecap yourself, put in like a $8 covered call, which is it's $1 away, but that's 15%. And then the thing goes to 9 or 10, and now you're screwed out of $2 because you took 10 cents or 5 cents. Like, it doesn't even make any sense at all. If those things were paying 50 cents, okay, and then maybe the 9s were paying 25 and the 10s were paying 10, 15, 20, I could get behind it. But the options chain, it went to shit, actually. I was super hyped for the options chain to get weekly, and then it just kind of was a dookie. It was no bueno. So it's been a non-starter for me. Even looking at the chain, trying to do cash secured puts, which means if the stock falls, I get to buy it at a cheaper price, but I get paid to buy it, or I make some money in the meantime. Like, you look a week out, you're looking at 650s or 6s, and they're like 10 cents. But the EMA is 490 and 495, which, if the stock stays where it is, it will climb to 5. But it's like, I'm not taking it at 6 for it to go to 5. So even on the reverse, it's bad. You would say, okay, for 6, I need at least 50 cents, right? Because there's a chance it's going to 5 or below. The options are not priced well. I don't know what's going on with those options, but it is positive that they have stopped selling, at least for now. You could say some of them ran out of shares to sell. I know the friggin' CEO did. The only shares he has are the ones in these trusts that don't belong to him, pretty much. So he can't sell them. But on the other hand, there are some people that can sell more, and they stopped. So that's good. There's been no catalysts. So expecting it to move on low volume where other things are really popping off. It's a tall order. You're in for a long hold here. You could be facing opportunity costs. Like, if you have 5 or 10 grand or 20 grand stashed into NVTS, and other stuff's kind of popping off, you're just missing out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a trader now. I don't necessarily buy, hold very long. You really got, like I said, I took almost 10 on this. So I'm in no way lost on this. I left 45 on the table one of the days when it ran in the pre-market, which is insane to admit. Keep you up at night sometimes. But I wasn't awake. And it was pre-market. So should have woke up. When you're sitting on 15,000 shares of something, you should be awake. Whenever the market is open, if you can sell. I didn't have full pre-market at the time. The Equestrade recently changed that, but I did have 2 hours ahead, which it would have been fine. What was I gonna say? But yeah, so since I sold out, like, I haven't really. There's been no desire to re-enter. I sold at like 650, 675. I sold at like 615, 650, and 675. I kind of did like 3 tranches for like an average of around 650. So I'm not really interested in buying it at 7. It hit 670 or 665 the other day. The extended moving averages are clearly visible to everybody. I don't really have any interest in buying it unless it wants to touch those. It's holding the 14 extended or 13 extended moving average on the daily. It is holding that. So maybe I don't get another opportunity to enter. If I don't get another opportunity to enter, I'll just have to say to myself, I made 10K on it almost. Like, I made 9,500. It is what it is, and I have to find the next one, right? It's going to be critical for these power racks, but it's like a component, guys. It's not like they're selling the power rack. Like CoreWeave is renting the graphics cards. This would be a component of sort of that business. It's not that business, right? People are comparing CoreWeave to Nvidia. Oh God! And the only reason I always mention CoreWeave in these videos is because you would mention everything related to Nvidia. Nvidia is the top of the umbrella; everything falls underneath it, and they're all interconnected. CoreWeave is data centers, APLD is data centers, Oracle is data centers, Nvidia GPUs, data centers, AI, right? Nvts would be like hardware for the data centers. Right? Like if I was, you would think like what NVTS has, guys, would be like the tires of a car, right? Would be the transmission of a whole car. It doesn't have the whole car. You're not buying the whole car. So to expect NVTS to be hundreds of dollars or something is madness. It's not going to be, right? And even like I was advocating for that 52-week high. Or not 52-week high, sorry. All-time high, right? Was only like $22. Totally reasonable. I truly believe that is totally reasonable. And then I'm like, at the same time, I don't want to buy the stock at 7. Not right now. I want to buy the stock on moving averages closer to 5. And even 4 if it falls to the 200. Because there was too much insider selling, which to me means short-term pressures or something like that, right? They're not about to announce a whole shit on the catalysts. They said 2026, 2026, 2026, 2026. I'll start reloading in 2026 if the stock hasn't really moved. Who knows? Can it hold this price for 6 months? I don't know. That'll depend on the retail traders holding it because the insiders aren't holding it, right? So there's a lot of factors going into this particular ticker and as to why I haven't uploaded videos. I've been talking about it in the Discord. I run a Discord. I've mentioned it many times in my videos. My videos did not seem to bring any new members to the Discord, despite everyone in my Discord getting alerted at $2 and $4 repeatedly, all of us making literally thousands of dollars, and me being one of the very first YouTuber investors to put NVTS videos out there for you, didn't bring any new people in. So I'm not going to necessarily put a bunch of work into content that isn't driving business. My Discord is how I make money. I don't make money on these YouTube videos. I'll make 30 cents if I'm lucky on a video because I'm too small of a channel. But, I should show up in search results or something like that, right? But I do feel beholden to the 200 people, 400 people that do watch that, give you something, right? For whatever reason, if making thousands of dollars isn't enough to come in the Discord for $20 a month, which is like not even $1 a day, despite how much else we put out there, like CarMax today, I mean, we're making people 5 months of Discord on one trade. Yeah, you're not privy to that kind of stuff, I suppose. But I will keep updating YouTube on NVTS going forward because I feel like it's almost like Redbox. It's kind of like my baby at this point. I did a shit ton of DD on it. I watch it every day. It is operating kind of like patterns. So that is good. We kind of want to see a stock that behaves in a predictable manner. Not an unpredictable manner. We want a predictable manner. And it has been doing that. Morning opens are pretty much free money on that stock right now. Yeah, I don't know. Put in the comments what you guys think. Like, let me know what you guys are thinking out there. It's nice to give my thoughts to people, but it's also nice to hear some other thoughts. Does anybody agree with anything I'm saying? Did you guys take profit? Are you waiting? Are you holding? How are you finding the options chain? Has this ticker inspired you to find other similar tickers where some piece of their technology might help. I'm not talking about penny pumpers that people are bagging at, significant losses. Nvda watches that maybe haven't been mentioned so much recently. Like, I watched the keynote, and that was actually extremely informative. Like, a lot of people were crapping on it and saying Nvidia is lying about their GPUs, and I'm seeing a lot of people that test the tech and saying Nvidia straight up is lying about their GPUs. Their new GPU 5070 series is like the same specs as my 4070. Nothing changed. Except ray tracing or something like that, or DLSS, something like that. The thing that creates, like, it takes like an image, and instead of needing to create the whole image, it's like takes like 10%, and then AI generates the other 90. But everyone's saying it's actually, in actuality, it's shit. I mean, that sounds like shit. And no offense, it sounds like you would want to take like 80% of an image and make 20%, fill in 20% with AI. So you have like a beautifully crafted image, and then AI sort of dealing with, peripheral vision stuff that's benign. Like, you're not going to want 90% of an image to be made up garbage, and then 10% is the legit. Like, that doesn't even make sense at all. So, but aside from them talking about that, they were talking about how, like, their AI, their agentic AI, training AI, the robotics of it, just showing the different. Oh, it was really good. I really recommend you watch it. I think it's only like 1.5 hours. It's not very long, but if you still haven't watched the keynote from Taiwan, Taipei, 3 weeks ago, give it a watch. It's the weekend. You have time. Watch it. Put it on like 1.25 on video, or 1.5 like speed. What you put it on 1.5 speed, you watch the video in half the time. And you really, this human speech, the 1.5 is fine. Like, I'm a fast talker. 1.5 is fine. 2.0, for me, it's maybe too fast. I sound weird, but 1.5, it's like you don't even notice. You can literally double your daily intake of information by watching video content at 1.5 speed, because that's 50% faster. So, you would say, well, we got to watch it at 100% faster. Well, I don't know. $1 to $2 is, you need 100%, but $2 to $1, you only lose 50%. So which is it? I don't know. It's either 50% faster or 100% faster. Either way, it's faster. You're gaining time, even though time is linear and a construct we created. Essentially, you're gaining minutes in your day by watching video content at faster speeds. I literally cannot watch any videos at 1.0 speed. If I'm watching a nature video to relax or something, that's it. Anything with information, can't do it, won't do it. Even gaming, if you're watching some gaming, I watch that faster too. But that's my random tip of the day that has absolutely nothing to do with Nvts. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy your weekend there. It would have been nice to get that Juneteenth today instead of yesterday, so that you'd have like a 3-day weekend. But it is what it is. And as for Discord, guys, I'm gonna get the earnings up for next week, so we know what may or may not be playable for the low risk place, because I got a bit away from that this week because there was virtually like nothing to play. This week has been shit until today, which they were all pretty decent. Like, they all would have paid perfect. Like, CarMax would have been real good today because it's monthlies that expired today. So we will have those up available for next week. I mean, as earnings slow down, that's just gonna slow down. And then as earnings pick up and we're dealing with 3 and 4 and 500 a week and even 1,000 in a week, like we had some of the most busiest earnings we ever had Q1 of 2026, or sorry, 2025. I'm a time traveler. you know, the sky will be the limit to what you can get into during those times, because there's just so much to choose from. We're not going to play them just to play them. If there's really nothing of value there that falls into that 25 to 30%, you know, if it's not there, it's not there. If it's there, beautiful. We will keep doing it all year long, and every 4 quarters, it's all refreshed for us anyway. So we're never going to run out of those. Those are there forever. Unless they change something about earnings and say, hey, companies only have to report once a year because stocks are trading at 700 PE like Palantir. So who really gives a shit? Whatever they report's irrelevant because they're trading as if they were making earnings into the year 2200. May as well. We'll see what happens, guys. Free.